Hello.
Hello, Garci.
Ma'am.
Upi. Pero lokal. Kasi iba-iba raw ang pinag-claim ng Commonwealth noon.
Sino ba atin doon?
Ay, naku, ang importante na hindi madama yung sa taas.
Hindi ho. Ako ang may hawak nun.
Kasi ang issue doon, sabi ng corruption, dahil nilagtan nila yung recount, pero sabi naman yung issue doon, dapat doon na lang sa munisipyo.
Doon na ho. Okay na yun. Ako ang may hawak niyan.
So hindi ma-access ko yun sa taas, ha?
Hindi ho.
Kasi sabi nga nila, kung mag-exclusive, baka susunod lang ito, bumagatang na naman daw doon, ha?
Hindi ho.
Good morning everyone. So I am the first presenter of the case about the Hello Garci scandal. So we have an introduction of this case. So this case study aims to examine the Hello Garci scandal, analyze its ethical dimensions, and explore its implications for governance and electoral integrity in the Philippines. By understanding the ethical issues at play, this study seeks to contribute to the broader discourse on enhancing accountability and transparency in political processes. The Hello Garci scandal is one of the most significant political controversies in the Philippines' history, highlighting critical issues of electoral integrity, governance, and ethics. The scandal erupted during 2004 presidential elections when then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo faced allegations of widespread electoral fraud. A tape recording surfaced in June 2005 featuring a conversation between Arroyo and Commission on Elections or COMELEC Commissioner Virgilio Garciliano, in which Arroyo appeared to discuss manipulating elections results to secure her re-elections. At the heart of the Hello Garci scandal are several main ethical issues. First, the integrity of the electoral processes comes into questions as allegations of fraud raise serious concerns about the fairness and transparency of the electoral system in the Philippines. Furthermore, the issue of corruption and accountability is central to the scandal, illustrating how unethical practices can compromise the integrity of public service. The lack of accountability for those involved not only exacerbates the situation but also deepens public disillusionment with governance. Lastly, the scandal significantly impacts public trust, fostering a culture of cynicism among citizens. We proceed to the background of the study. So, the Hello Garci scandal occurred during the aftermath of 2004 Philippine presidential elections, a period marked by political tensions and increasing social discontent. As we researched this case, we learned that then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was seeking re-election amidst a backdrop of economic challenges and rising poverty, which had already stirred public dissatisfaction with her administration. Her main opponent, Fernando Poe Jr., was a beloved actor with a strong following, and the election was highly contested. So we have the key events leading to the ethical dilemma. The scandal began in June 5 when recordings of phone conversations were leaked to the media, which caught us attention as a turning point in the case. These recordings allegedly featured President Arroyo speaking with Virgilio Garciliano, a Commission on Election or a COMELEC official. In the conversations, Arroyo was heard asking Garciliano about her vote margin, which led to accusations that she was interfering in the electoral process to ensure her re-election. Public release of the wiretape recordings, referred to as the Hello Garci tapes, sparked widespread outrage. Arroyo's public apology. Although she admitted to being the voice on the tape, she denied any wrongdoing, claiming that she was merely concerned about the election results. However, this failed to address suspicions of vote manipulation. Mass protests. Following the release of the tapes, there were large-scale protests demanding Arroyo's resignation, and opposition leaders pushed to her impeachment. Despite this, Arroyo remained in office, as the impeachment efforts were blocked in Congress. So we have a parties involved in this case. So first, we have the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So as the president at the time, she was the central figure in the controversy. The ethical dilemma centers around whether her actions compromise the integrity of the election. Arroyo's role as the person allegedly discussing election outcomes with election officials raised serious concerns about abuse of power. So the second one involved in this case, which is Virgilio Garciliano, the Comelec officials on the other end of the conversations. Garciliano alleged involvement in vote manipulation put the credibility of the election process in question. His role in ensuring electoral fairness was compromised according to accusations. So we have the other parties involved, the Filipino electorate. So ordinary citizens were among the most affected by this scandal. If the allegations were true, their votes may have been manipulated, which could have undermined the right to a fair and honest election. This explains why public outrage was so intense. Opposition leaders and civil society groups, political figures, especially those aligned with Fernando Po Jr., along with activist groups, were active in demanding accountability and transparency. Congress, Congress and the judiciary. So these institutions were responsible for handling the impeachment efforts and determining whether Arroyo bad act unethically or illegally. So now we proceed to the identification of ethical issues. So ethical problems in the case. So in the analysis of the Hello Garci scandal, several key ethical issues emerge. The most significant concern in electoral fraud, as the alleged manipulation of election results directly challenge the principles of honesty, fairness, and integrity in the democratic system. So another ethical issues is the abuse of power by potentially using her authority as president to influence the outcome of the election. So Gloria Macapagal Arroyo may have violated the moral obligation of a leader's act in the public best interest rather than for personal gain. Finally, the issue of accountability arises. After the wiretap conversations were exposed, there were calls for Arroyo to be held accountable through impeachment. Proceed to the analysis of ethical dilemma. First, ethical theories and frameworks. To analyze the ethical dilemma presented by the Hello Garci scandal, various ethical theories can be applied. Utilitarianism, which focuses on minimizing overall happiness and minimizing harm, raises important questions about the consequences of electoral fraud. Second is deontological ethics. On the other hand, emphasizes the importance of duty and adherence to moral rules. And the last is virtue ethics, offers another lens through which I view this dilemma. This theory emphasizes the character of individuals involved in ethical decision making. Also, we have competitive values and principles. The Hello Garci scandal illustrates a conflict between several key values and principles. At the forefront is the struggle between individual rights and the greater good. Then, nature of the conflicts. The conflicts between these values and principles are particularly challenging to resolve. The clash between individual rights and the greater good often leads to ethical dilemmas where there is no clear solutions, as prioritizing one can diminish the other.
So let's proceed po sa proposed solution. The proposed solution that we attach are transparency of COMELEC election system, poll and survey of public opinion, and trustworthy watchdogs. So first is transparency of COMELEC election system, and the advantage is maintaining the integrity and credibility of the electoral process and ensure the public trust. And the disadvantage is the rise of deepfakes and security risks. The second one is poll and survey of public opinion. The advantage is informed decision making to make informed decisions about the scandal and its implication. Enhancing transparency and accountability to ensuring that those in power remain responsive to public needs. And yung disadvantage naman po is the risk of disinformation and fake news, misinformation and manipulation. So the last one is trustworthy watchdogs. Sa botohan, need po talaga ng trustworthy watchdog, especially kung ikaw ay tatakbo. And advantage is preventing electoral fraud and ensuring the legitimacy of election outcomes and reassure voters that their rights are protected and their voice are heard. And yung disadvantage is lack of representation and inequitable voting power. So the best ACA and recommendation na nilagay po namin is yung transparency of COMELEC election system. Why? Para po sa more resilient and trustworthy electoral system. And yung recommendation naman, maintaining transparency in campaign financing and ballot counting process, and implementing robust mechanisms to prevent and address electoral fraud, and fostering a culture of accountability among political parties and candidates. So, the last one is conclusion. So our conclusion are an important turning point in Philippine politics was the Hello Garci scandal, which exposed allegation of electoral fraud and sparked questions about the fairness of the voting process. This episode sparked legal challenges, large-scale protests, and efforts at impeachment, and highlighting the serious concern about the transparency and accountability of the democratic process. Even though the episode did not result in a change of administration, it had a lasting impact on public opinion and emphasizing the importance of an unbiased and worthy democratic process. So the Hello Garci event emphasizes how crucial voting integrity, accountability, and transparency are to maintaining Philippine democracy. So the lesson learned from the Hello Garci incident are still applicable today, emphasizing the necessity of robust mechanism to prevent and address the electoral fraud. Thank you.
Thank you.